Follow us at Civic Center TV on Twitter and Civic Center TV 15 on Facebook. Civic Center TV, television that's close to home. Stay tuned for the Splash Live. It's time for the Splash Live from Civic Center TV, featuring stories from and about people like you in the Greater West Bloomfield area. Simulcast on cable, 89.3 Lakes FM, social media, and the web. Now live from Green Media Center on Walnut Lake Road, it's the Splash Live.
Live, local, social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Thank you so much for being here. I am your host, Kevin McIntosh. Starting off with our top story of the day, a West Bloomfield basketball camp is giving local kids more than just hoop skills. It's delivering life lessons, and it's coming from a Michigan State University legend. Gregory Kelser, former Detroit Piston and NCAA champion, is back in the gym this week teaching fundamentals, teamwork, and the value of education. I actually visited the camp myself to see how Mr. Kelser is inspiring the next generation on and off the court.
My favorite part of the camp is probably the people. I mean, I've met a lot of cool people with a lot of different skill sets, and that's very important to me.
Speaking to Coach Tay and Coach Strickland, they tell us what the camp offers and what it's been like coaching over time.
It offers a lot. You got the kids, they all come here, getting to know each other. So like the camaraderie of everything, and just like getting better. We got some dogs in here, we got people that love to compete, and I think this camp just brings that out of all kids.
I've been working with this camp with Greg and them for over 10 years, watching the youth grow up, coming back every year, having fun with the kids, and watching some of the kids go on to bigger and better things. You know, it's about learning, education, teamwork. That's what we teach here.
Beyond drills and scrimmages, former NBA player Gregory Kelser is coaching something deeper, and he tells us why basketball is a good way to teach life lessons.
Because basketball is all about team, working together, sacrificing, all for the common good. And those are all things that I think can be very, very important, or will be essential as you move out into the world as an adult. And some of the young athletes talk about the skills they improve on from the camp.
When I came here, I was not really the best at dribbling, but that it's definitely improved. So I can say I learned some new dribbling moves.
I like shooting.
You like shooting?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, tell me something that you've learned since you've been here.
I learned some more defense.
With so much that he gives back to the community, coaches speak on what it's like working with Mr. Kelser.
Oh, very good. I go back with Greg to 1974. We went to high school in the same era. So I played ball against him. I played with Purge. He played for Henry Ford. So I've been knowing him for years.
Oh, yeah, it's great, man. Greg, he's a legend around here. Everybody knows him, his camps. Everybody who hooped in the, Metro Detroit area been to a Greg Kelser camp. Kelser makes it a point to be present, offering advice and personal stories about how education opened doors in his life just as basketball did. The basketball and all the other sports that you endeavor are privileges. You don't really have to have them, but your education is something that is absolutely essential, and it's the foundation. It's the thing that's going to carry you farthest. Even if you're fortunate enough to beat the odds and become a professional athlete like I did, it doesn't last forever. You still better have something else to fall back on.
Such an incredible opportunity. You have to see it in person. And I feel good for these young athletes who are learning from a hometown hero as well. For more information on Greg Kelser's upcoming camps or community involvement, head to his website, gregorykelser.com, for more. Hey, and by the way, our team sends out a newsletter that highlights our top stories and best programs each and every week. Now you'll never get behind, I should say, on the top stories right here in Greater West Bloomfield. All you need to do is scan this QR code that you're seeing right here on your screen on Civic Center TV. It'll take you to a page where you can sign up. Then you check your email at the end of every week to see what's going on in your hometown. And of course, you can always visit our website for more, civiccentertv.com for more. Big changes at West Bloomfield Middle School include a new turf football field. State of the art, looks pristine. And I actually went to the new multi-purpose field and broke down why the field was needed in the first place.
We had a lot of issues with the old field. The principals would call us quite frequently and tell us about some issues with, divots in the field. There was a lot of weeds on the field, and obviously you don't want to spray a lot of chemicals with kids out here running around. And the other big issue is that, and it's typical with any grass field, is it's difficult to grow the grass because the growing seasons are the fall and the spring, and that's when you have kids out there running around trampling it. So it's really hard to get the grass to grow. And the other issue was ongoing maintenance costs of keeping up a grass field and having to mow it, having to stripe it. There's a lot of costs associated with that. And lastly, it was just the playability. Obviously, we get a lot of rain here in Michigan, so we were not able to use it a lot because of the issues with mud and the water accumulating on the surface.
Jamie further discusses the current status and the benefits of the new turf.
The contractors are very close to having the field done. They actually put in the 40 tons of crumb rubber last week. They still have to disassemble the bridge that they use to cross over the track and to clean up some of their equipment over there, but they're getting really close to having it done. We did start it a little early. We started on May 13th with the hopes of being able to have it done before fall sports. The wonderful thing is the Shaw Game On is the company that we went with for the turf. They have 15 projects going this summer in southeastern Michigan. Ours was the number one out of the gate. So by being first, we were able to ensure that everything was manufactured and brought out here and put in place. And so they were able to complete the job.
We learned about how the West Bloomfield School District incorporated the input of the students for the new field.
Before we actually started the field project, we were able to get a few designs out to the students to vote on, and the students picked their favorite field design, so we incorporated that, which was pretty cool to be able to involve them in the project. Another thing that's nice about the Shaw Game On product is that they're able to tuft the color into the carpet fabric, whereas on a normal artificial turf field, every time there's a color change, those two colors have to be sewn together. But they have a patent on it where they're able to stitch actually weave all the colors into the textile, which allows us to do things that you used to not be able to do. So here you can see, obviously, we have our new Lyle the Crocodile border, which just adds a little pizzazz to the project, a little fun, and it ties in with our new branding with the district. So
a brand new design, shock put area, and turf is right here at the West Bloomfield Middle School to level the playing field for the safety of our students. The fall of 2025 is expected to see the debut of the field with plenty of activities planned on it. From West Bloomfield Middle School, I'm Kevin McIntosh, Civic Center TV. That's right, and once again, the district says that the field will be ready for full multi-use by the start of the school year. For more information and updates on West Bloomfield School District in general, you can visit their Facebook page at West Bloomfield Schools for more. Launched in 1985, this year marks the 40th anniversary of Parks and Recreation Month. That's right, parks and recreation programs are essential to community health and well-being, and they also help cultivate lifelong friendships, memories, and family bonds that people will hold dear for decades. We actually spoke with Executive Director of WB Parks, Kelly Heyer, to tell us more about Parks and Rec Month.
Kelly, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. Great to see you. Great to see you outside. A lovely day out. Really enjoying the summer. First and foremost, happy Parks and Recreation Month. How is West Bloomfield Park celebrating this year?
Thank you for that. Well, we have taken the time the last couple years to celebrate Parks and Recreation Month and really celebrate, of course, on our social media. But the new thing that we've been focusing on is Parks and Recreation Professionals Day, which is in a couple weeks, and it takes just a little creativity to bring some fun to our seasonal and our full-time, part-time staff's days. So this year we have planned a hydration station themed with some fun drinks that'll be served up at Lily Pad Springs, Connect, Rack, Marshbank Park, and Drake Sports Park, our main locations throughout the summer.
Wow, all of that sounds amazing. How did this event come together, and how did you guys decide to put something like this together?
Well, the tough thing is when we're celebrating in July, which is an appropriate month to celebrate across the nation, is in Michigan, we've got long days, and our summer programming is going super strong. So all of our locations and all of our programs are in full-blown effect. So how do you work in having a little fun and rewarding staff while they're working? So the last couple of years, we've tried to get creative and what can we do to provide a short lunch or an added break to people's days and still get the work done, because our residents still want quality services every day for the month of July, of course. So last year we did some ice cream floats. This year we're going with the hydration station theme, and which is appropriate because we're now entering into a couple weeks of 80-degree days, it looks like in the forecast, Jake.
That's absolutely right. I mean, I was just on vacation recently. The summer heat is no joke. Very, very important to stay hydrated. And this summer, there's already been some great things with West Bloomfield Parks. There's going to be plenty more things throughout the rest of the summer. How are you encouraging the community to get involved and appreciate the value of local parks and recreation services?
Well, we use a tagline frequently that there's something for everyone here. So if you were looking for some more passive recreation, I'm here right at Marshbank Park. You can see behind me, you can hop on the walking trail, which will be under construction shortly, starting in August, by the way. We're replacing a portion of our walking path. But you can hop on the nature preserve trails, you can hop on the West Bloomfield Trail. We've got trails at Drake Sports Park and Pine Lake. So lots of passive recreation. But if you're looking for more social opportunity, of course, check out our Marshbank Park music series that's launching this Wednesday. So we have live concert in the parks for the Wednesdays in July. But if you want some water fun, we've got some kayaking programs, perhaps that might interest you, to Lily Pad Springs, of course, our splash packs, so Splash Park. So there's something for everyone here at West Bloomfield Parks. It's just a matter of what you desire and how social you want to be.
That's right. Something for everyone, and everything is available to help make this summer the best it can possibly be. Now, we've talked about how this is providing so much fun for everybody, but how do West Bloomfield Parks contribute to the health and wellness of the community all year round?
Well, we can talk about your mental health, or we can talk about your physical health. So the physical health is a little bit more obvious. So I talked about a little bit of passive recreation, but also you can get into a league or something more cardio or active. So we've got our pickleball programs, we've got our softball. We're soon we'll be doing fall registration for our fall softball leagues. And then of course, we've got our group fitness. So everything from, if you are low mobility, you want something high cardio, check out our recreation offerings. We've had instructors teaching for us for over 20 years, and we've got a great array of group fitness opportunities. And then let's talk about your mental health. And again, this can be something where you just need to get outdoors, breathe the fresh air, be surrounded with nature. And for example, studies show that just a view of water increases your happiness level. That statistics and data is out there that supports that, to hearing peaceful sounds of nature. And so we've got so many options here. And then of course, the social aspect. So again, if you can't be in the humidity or the heat, or you're worried about the elements, come check out what we have indoor at the Recreation Activity Center. at our nature room or even at Connect, our senior center, off of Farmington and 14.
So many great things on display all throughout Greater West Bloomfield. For those just joining us right now on the Splash Live, I'm talking with West Bloomfield Parks Executive Director Kelly Heyer, talking about how July is National Parks and Recreation Month and how West Bloomfield Parks is celebrating the month in style and showing all of their appreciation to the community. Now, Kelly, a lot of people throughout Greater West Bloomfield have been to at least one of the many parks throughout here, but what would you say to someone who hasn't explored West Bloomfield Parks before, and why is now the perfect time?
Well, typically in July, the weather is very conducive to outdoor recreation, and the daylight stays nice and light to later on into the evening. So I'm here at Marshbank Park. We've got a great walking trail. We've got access to Cass Lake, our fishing pier, as well as our kayak. I'm on the playground right now. You can hear some kids just showed up. And this is one of our many playgrounds that we have in our park system to maybe get out to Drake Sports Park. Drake Sports Park's on the other end of the township, and that offers a lot of sport amenities. And we've got a brand new playground there. And then I would say people need to check out the West Bloomfield Trail because that is so unique. That is a Great Lake to Lake Trail, Route 1, that goes from Lake Huron to Lake Michigan, and we own 7 miles of it, and it will get you not only some great cardio, whether you're walking, biking, but you can get great views of nature, and you're going to meet some really great people around the way.
All great spots you just mentioned, Kelly. I've been to each of them several times, and they absolutely provide everything that you just said that they do. Now, the community plays a big role into everything that West Bloomfield Parks does. How has community feedback shaped what you guys put your efforts in to helping to make Greater West Bloomfield as amazing as it could possibly be?
I've got to say, Jake, that our residents are some of the most open, and they give great suggestions, and they're so supportive. So starting back with our master planning and our bond proposal, we are supported by residents not only through our 4 millages, but also with this bond proposal to do some really great things for our park system to set us up for the next 50 years. But anything from a simple phone call, like, hey, there's a tree down in the preserve, to, hey, have you guys ever thought about this program? I mean, West Bloomfield residents are not shy about sharing ideas, but oftentimes they're great ideas and we can respond to them. And we've been able to implement some really quality changes to make sure that our experiences are, we're delivering the experiences that we should be delivering. And it is thanks to the residents being a part of this process too.
That's right. The residents play such a big role in everything. And how can the residents stay informed about everything West Bloomfield Parks has planned, both for throughout the month of July and beyond?
Great question. So we have a weekly email blast that our marketing team puts out. This is like the top 5 things that you need to know in West Bloomfield each week. It's a really great tool to stay connected. And it will also put building closures, we'll put in there park closures, capital improvement updates. So if you aren't signed up for that, you need to sign up for the weekly buzz right now. That's on our website. See us at an event. We always have an information booth on our bigger events. And this is where you can come talk to a staff member. Like maybe it's an issue that you have or a concern you have. You just want to get more involved. You want to volunteer with us. We have a lot of quality staff that can answer all of your questions at our events. And then, of course, social media. You watch our Instagram page, our Facebook page. We are always active with our social pages and make sure that we're highlighting not only the events in the past that have happened, but then also getting people excited for what's upcoming.
All great ways to stay informed. Kelly, before we let you go, is there any final words that you'd like to say about West Bloomfield or about Parks and Recreation Month and anything you want to say to the community?
I would say thank you to our residents for supporting us, but then thank you to staff. We have the most hardworking, innovative, creative, dedicated, enthusiastic, and just caring parks team. And it doesn't matter if you're at camp or if you're at lily pad, you're getting waited on the front desk, you're getting picked up by a bus driver. I've never worked in anywhere else that has a more committed team than here at West Bloomfield Park. So if you're listening and you work for West Bloomfield Parks, thank you. Thank you for joining us, this team. We're not only do we have 40 full-time, part-time, round the year people, but then we are joined by 50 seasonals throughout the summertime, and we couldn't do it without you.
Such high praise. And all of that hard work is made possible by every single member of the West Bloomfield Parks team, including you, Kelly. Thank you so much for everything you do, and thank you for joining us today here on the Splash Live.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you again, Jake and Kelly. And we love everything that WB Parks has to offer for the entire family. And you can check out some of their upcoming summer and fall activities directly on their website, wbparks.org, for more information. Coming up in West Bloomfield, there's a great big art event happening, and we will talk to one of the artists that will be featured. We are live, local, social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live.
So much is happening in your community. Join Jake, Tyler, and Kevin for local events and developments on the Splash Live, weekdays at 10 a.m. on CivicCenterTV.com, YouTube, and Facebook.
Hi, I'm Chris Fry, Park Superintendent of West Bloomfield Parks. Congratulations, Civic Center TV, on 1 million views on YouTube. Thank you for all you do in the community, and thank you for having me on The Splash throughout the season to talk about activities out in the parks. Chris Fry, proud to be 1 in a million.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Two milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable.
The sad reality is fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kitchen now.
Bringing you stories and memories from Sylvan Lake. Civic Center TV, television that's close to home. And now, back to the Splash, live.
Live, local, social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Thanks for joining us. I am your host, Kevin McIntosh. Rick Matley is a fresh air oil painter who will be featured at the Orchard Lake Fine Arts Show this weekend. His paintings emphasize the changing quality of light in natural settings. And here to tell us more about his own work is the man himself, Mr. Rick Matley. Thank you for being here, Rick. Thank you for being here.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it.
Man, we appreciate you being here. I've been on your website. I checked out some of your work ahead of time. And I obviously did some research on you real quick. So fresh air oil painter, let's just start off with what is that? What is that and how did you get introduced to it?
Well, a fresh air oil painter or open air oil painter is the what I would call the layman's term for open air painting. It's the English version it's the English translation of the French word in plein air. Most people call it plein air painting. Yeah, hold on, that cat. Sorry about that.
No, appreciate you.
Yeah, so the French term in plein air means in the open air. So, you know, I speak English, and a lot of my audience and my customers are, lay people. And so I just use the word open air painting. Nice. I'm an open air painter. Same thing as in plein air. Mm-hmm. I just go with the open air painting. And what got me inspired with the open air painting is, so I've been painting since about 1982. And if you go outside and just kind of really study your surroundings, mm-hmm. your eye picks up way more detail, way more, the values of the scene, the saturation of the scene. Your eye is superior to just about any.
Slight technical error real quick with Mr. Matley as we figure that out. But Mr. Matley, Rick Matley, I should say, was a featured artist that'll be at the Orchard Lake Fine Arts Show this weekend. Just talking about his open air painting. I think we have you again there. Please continue, please.
So the, your eye can pick up a better scene than the camera lens. And so when you go outside and you're a painter and you're painting outside, your eye picks up all the fine details like this. I think you're showing this on screen right here.
Yes.
In the wintertime, I'm from Kalkaska, Michigan, and in the wintertime, we get a lot of snow. And if you take the time and you look at a shadow in the snow, you might think it's gray, but if you really look closely, it's blue. The shadows are blue. And so this painting right here is an open air painting. That is painted on location, the way that I saw it, with all the energy, and it's a beautiful painting, and that scene is actually that beautiful.
Yes.
If you take a photograph of that, those blue shadows would be more gray, and they would be muted, and they wouldn't be as exciting.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You have a very keen eye for art and details. I can see that, and I love that. I love how many different points you made. First and foremost, the natural eye will catch different vibrant colors and everything that our lens and nothing can capture like that. But open air oil painting is exactly what it sounds like from what you told me. You're painting literally on location, outside, absorbing it with your own eye and going from there. I love that. That speaks to your creativity as well. Now, you bring in your talents here to West Bloomfield. Just talk about what inspired you to join the Orchard Lake Fine Arts Show this year.
Well, my wife is from West Bloomfield, so her immediate family is still there. So we visit that area quite a bit, and I'm just amazed at the beautiful colors and scenery in West Bloomfield and Birmingham, especially in the spring. You guys have some of the most beautiful trees that come into bloom down there. We don't have that up north. Our trees go right from, dead, no leaves on there, to green. And you guys get all of these blooms, all different colored blooms. It's beautiful down there. I love it.
Thank you. I'm saying thank you like I got something to do with it. But yes, I would agree with that as well. Beautiful scenery that we have, natural scenery as well. I want to kind of ask you a little bit about this balance with painting outside. I don't know if you paint indoors at all, but how do you balance or blend on-site energy with studio refinement for some of your pieces?
Okay, so the whole idea with the open air painting, or as the French call it, en plein air, is you paint a small painting, like maybe a 9x12, an 8x10, or a 5x7, and you go outside and you paint it. And the whole idea is to record the scene on your canvas. A lot of the times the open air paintings they're not really refined. But you take that smaller painting and you bring it into the studio, and you can copy that smaller painting. It takes you back into the moment. It refreshes your memory on what you saw, the energy in the scene. Say, for example, like on Lake Superior. You can go to Lake Superior and you can paint Lake Superior on a real wavy, windy day, and it's awesome. You can see the water, the mist coming off the tops of the waves, swirling up into the pine trees, where the camera's not going to catch that, but you can catch that with your eye, and you record it on a small canvas, and you get all of that energy into that, and then you bring it into the studio, and then you can make basically whatever size painting you want by copying that smaller piece. I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It does. So instead, it's okay. So I would see some people would take a picture and then take that picture somewhere and paint from there. But you're literally painting a smaller version and then taking that and painting a more detailed, larger version. Am I understanding that correct?
You're exactly right.
Interesting.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
wow. I love that.
Yeah, I'm going in there and I'm doing an 8x10 or and I'm recording everything. It's basically the painter's photograph.
Nice.
And you bring it into the studio, and kaboom, you make a much larger piece.
Perfect, perfect. And with me right here live on the Splash, by the way, open air oil painter, or in plein air painter as well, Rick Matley, who'll be joining us at the Orchard Lake Fine Arts Show this weekend here in West Bloomfield, talking about some of his work and inspiration. Just a few seconds left. While we do have you here, Rick, if you don't mind, I'm seeing some paintings behind you. For our people who are watching on Civic Center TV, can you just briefly explain what we have behind us?
Well, let me get that painting up there on the wall. That's got the red. That is an actual setting in Kalkaska. That is what we call the Cherry Flats. We call them the Cherry Flats because whatever that ground cover is on the ground, it's a burgundy red. And so that's a larger piece that was taken from a 5x7 on site.
Mm-hmm.
There, that's a beautiful piece. The piece just below it is a finished piece. You can probably see that fly fisherman there in the river.
Nice, yes.
And that's also a finished piece from a open air painting. And then the one above it, that's just an orchard up here on Old Mission Peninsula outside of Traverse City.
Okay.
That painting is not complete. But that's going to be a beautiful painting. That's also a larger painting.
Yes.
Some people ask for these paintings in like a 3x4 foot. So like people will ask me, they'll come to like at West Bloomfield, the Orchard Lake show here. There'll be people that come in and they'll want me to go right to a location that they love. And paint that scene for them instead of like doing a painting from a photograph.
Right. Oh,
and
wow.
That one on top is just the in process of the finishing touches of that.
Nice.
You can kind of, even this camera, you can see the camera, but those shadows they lean towards purple. If you go into an apple orchard and you look at the shadows on the ground, they're kind of purplish. They're not dark gray.
Yeah, no, good point. And like, if we were to watch a cartoon or something like that, the shadow would just be black, and that's what most of us just think. But like you said, if you actually pay attention to detail, you can actually see the vibrance in that. Hey, Mr. Matley, we appreciate your time so much for being here, and good luck again being out there at the Orchard Lake Fine Arts Show. Very briefly, if you can tell us, what do you want people to take away from visiting your booth this weekend?
Just to see the beauty of the paintings.
Nice. Soak it all in and enjoy. And speak to Mr. Rick Matley as well. Once again, thank you again. Open air oil painter Rick Matley, featured at the Orchard Lake Fine Arts Show. We appreciate your time again, sir.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yes, and if you are interested in the Orchard Lake Fine Arts Show happening this weekend, go directly to their website for more information and tickets, hotworks.org for more. The Jacket Club of Kego Harbor is hosting a charity golf outing in partnership with Gino's Restaurant. All proceeds will benefit the Jacket Club's charitable program supporting children, families, and senior citizens in need. Joining me on the Splash Live from the Jacket Club of Kego Harbor is Mr. Dennis Kearns to tell us more. How you doing, Mr. Kearns?
Morning, Kevin. How are you?
Doing just fine. Interested in this annual golf outing charity event that you all have going on. So let's just speak about it. What makes this golf outing, which is annual if I'm not mistaken, what makes it so popular and successful as a fundraising event for the Jacket Club?
Well, it's got a deep history of helping out the community, as Gino's Restaurant so often does. And he's been doing it for decades. You get a good group of solid people that are helping, have a great time out golfing together, and then raising money for the charity as well. It's a great combination of community leadership.
Yeah, having a little bit of fun, doing it for a good cause as well, killing two birds with one stone, can't be mad at that. Now, we just briefly talked about how the funds are being used for proceeds to benefit some of the things that the Jacket Club does. Can you give us a little bit more details on how the funds raised from this event are used to support the local families and individuals in Kego Harbor and Greater West Bloomfield?
Well, we've been doing this. The Jacket Club has been in existence for more than 60 years, and we've been providing, Christmas for some of the less fortunate in town. We've been working the last few years with West Bloomfield Optimists. We actually assisted 60 families last year, 42 children from Kego Harbor.
Good job.
With gifts, toys, and food for the holiday season. We spend probably $5,000 to $6,000 a year every season, so it's important for us to restock our monetary treasury and be able to help again next year.
Yes, and we appreciate all the work. I think we highlighted one of the holiday events that you all did last year as well. And we want to continue to applaud you all for the effort and the work that you do in our community and the difference that you make. Now, if I'm not mistaken, you all do something with gift baskets and gift certificates, collecting those and doing different giveaways. Please?
We're in the process right now of trying to get local businesses and residents to give gift baskets or door prizes or so that we could raffle off as well at the golf tournament. It would be a great way of helping out. You could get a hold of Rocco at Gino's and let him know if you've got something you want to donate, or you can give me a call somewhere.
Perfect. And by the way, with us right here live on The Splash, talking about the upcoming Jacket Club fundraiser golf outing, we have from the Jacket Club of Kego Harbor, Mr. Dennis Kearns, just giving us more details on it. Now, let's just backtrack now that I think about that. Let's give the details, the who, what, where, when, and why of the event as well.
Well, the event itself is going to be September 4th. Early morning start, four-man scramble, and then a steak dinner afterwards at Gino's restaurant.
Perfect. So all community involvement, working with Gino's and other organizations. And speaking of other organizations, if I'm not mistaken, you all recently partnered with the West Bloomfield Optimist Club as well to provide some food baskets. Can you just talk about that collaboration and how it worked?
Yeah, well, what we did was we, and along with the West Bloomfield Fire Department, used their fire hall, and we brought in, like I said, probably about, our part of the donation was probably about $5,000 to $6,000. The West Bloomfield Optimists came up with quite a bit as well, and we were able to help out 60 families in the West Bloomfield area, 42 children from Kego Harbor area that, plus some, we put together food baskets for some of the senior citizens in Kego as well. So it was really a great thing to do around holiday time when people should be celebrating, and some people have a little less than others.
Yep. Well said. And I'm glad that you all keep that in mind, too, the different levels that people are at. I mean, we are in a very well kept neighborhood and community, West Bloomfield, Greater West Bloomfield, but not everyone is living at a certain status as well. So to keep that in mind, it speaks volumes. And going to that point as well, how do you all identify the families and the individuals that are in need within our community to ensure the donations are reaching them?
We work with the school system primarily. A lot of the school counselors give us referrals to the children, and that's the best way we know to keep it clean and to make sure that the needs are being met with people that have the needs.
Yeah. Well said. With us right here again on the Splash Live, talking about the upcoming Kego Harbor golf outing in partnership with Gino's Restaurant from the Jacket Club of Kego Harbor. We have Dennis Kearns talking about that event, which is happening on September 4th. That's a Thursday at the Pontiac Country Club in Waterford. Now, organizing this and other events, some people may not see the work that goes into it. They just see the end result. Great, successful event. But there's some hurdles that it takes when you are putting these events together, such as the golf outing. So can you speak to some of the challenges that the Jacket Club faces when it is organizing these events and fundraisers?
Well, every time you're trying to get a group of people together and put plan. Some things work smoother than others. Rocco's been in charge of the Geno's outing for the last few years, and he's got a lot of experience and uses it well. And we're just there to assist him in his needs, and to perform on September 4th and be there for the golfers and Geno's restaurant and the charity as well.
That's right. That's right. And we love that too. Now, don't want to hold you up too much longer. Anything that the Jacket Club is currently working on or planning for the future you can tell us about?
We're always looking for new fundraising ideas or new ways to raise funds. If people want to make a donation, we are a 501c3 charity, so it's tax deductible. Our post office box is 452 Kego Harbor 48320. We're always willing to take donations, and you'd be helping the community out tremendously.
Perfect. And as we land the plane, once again, Mr. Kearns, anyone that's interested in the Jacket Club, the golf outing, or just want to know more, please tell them how they can do so.
Probably get a hold of Rocco at Geno's restaurant. Stop by there. All the information would be there. Their phone number is 682-6540, but it'd probably be better to stop by and talk to people.
Yeah, stop by, see them face to face. No Facebook, no social media, no phone calls. Go right in there.
That's
hey, we
right.
appreciate you again, sir. Thank you for you and everything that your organization does to our community. Once again, from the Jacket Club of Kego Harbor, Mr. Dennis Kearns. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Kevin. I appreciate all your help.
Oh, we appreciate you as well. Continuously doing the good work in our community. We're always going to advocate for that, and we'll continuously keep you updated with other events happening right here in our community. Bees, native plants, and other natural elements are all important when it comes to maximizing the efficiency of the ecosystem that we all live in. To tell us a little bit more about our native pollinators, we actually spoke with Bees in the D co-founder, Brian Peterson-Ross, to tell us more. Thank you for being here, Brian.
It's always great to be with you. Thank you.
We love to talk about it. So let's just get into some of like the generalization of what we're going to talk about, right? First and foremost, what are the most important elements to include in a bee-friendly garden during the summer months?
Natives, natives, natives. It's so important that we plant some native flowers for our native bees and our native pollinators like our butterflies.
Okay, so let's get into a little bit more specifics. Are there any specific native plants or flowers that you recommend that are based right here in Michigan?
Well, I have a few favorites myself. I love Gaillardia, which is blanket flower. I love the black-eyed Susans. There's the cone flower. I mean, the list goes on and on. We actually have a lot more native flowers than what people think, and they're actually extremely beautiful. And so they not only help our pollinators, but they make your yard look a lot more beautiful.
Being joined right now by co-founder from Bees in the D, Brian Peterson-Ross. We were just recently talking about how we can make our homes and yards more eco-friendly for bees and native plants in general. Just picking up from that conversation, Brian, one thing that I want to ask you about, the different types of bees. Can you just tell us the difference between maybe a native bee and a honey bee? Is there a difference? To break that down, please.
Yeah, great question. A lot of people don't realize this, but in Michigan alone, we have over 460 different species of bees. But we tend to just think of our bees like the honey bees because they do provide us with honey. But our native bees, like some of the bumblebees or the mason bees or the leafcutter bees, are extremely important to our ecosystem.
Wow. Okay. So I'm going to be honest, just like the average person, I would think any bee that I see is producing honey. They're all big. I mean, they're all the same. I do see bigger bees that are, bigger and louder than other ones, but I would just never know. So with that being said, how can we ensure as gardeners that we are supporting both the honeybees and the native bees?
Like I said earlier, by planting native, the native bees have more of a symbiotic relationship with those plants, but they also do benefit our honeybees and some of our other insects that we may think are bees, but they're not actually bees at all, like our wasp and our hornets. So the group is even bigger if you include those wasp and those hornets as well.
Woo! Now we're going down a dangerous path. I am scared of those wasps and those hornets, but I'm pretty sure they serve a purpose though, right? But let's kind of get into the other part. So for the people who are aware of pollination in their yards and kind of do their best to set up pollinator gardens, what are some common mistakes you might have seen or heard of when people try to create these pollinator gardens, and how can they avoid those mistakes?
Well, weeds can become a big problem. And so you have to kind of, especially at the beginning of putting these plants in, kind of be on top of things to keep those weeds from overcrowding those natives. But that's the great thing about natives. Mm-hmm. They actually are used to our climate here in Michigan, and so they don't need quite as much care as maybe some of the annuals that we plant that need to be watered quite continuously. Our natives are designed to maybe go through a little bit of a drought. And then what's nice about them is they spread and they come back every year. They're perennials, so you don't have to keep planting them each year. So I guess that's not really mistakes. That's just kind of the benefits of having the natives.
Yeah, good note to have. Good note to have in our mind when we are preparing our pollinator gardens in general. Okay, so one thing I do want to kind of bring up for our gardeners and people who want to keep maybe pests and other insects away from different parts of their garden, what are the dangers of using some pesticides or herbicides, even those that are labeled bee-friendly or pollinator-friendly?
Yeah, unfortunately, sometimes we want to take the easy route and we want to use some sprays or some pesticides to get rid of some of the pest insects or even some of the plants that we don't like. But what we kind of forget is they don't necessarily target just those pest insects or just those plants that are kind of weeds or plants that we don't want. And so it can then affect the whole ecosystem, and those pollinators can take those poisons back to their nest, or it can unfortunately kill them as well.
There's just so much that we got to be aware of when it comes to that. We have to be so gentle when it comes to our nature. Sometimes we just think of nature as just being completely sustainable and just continuously just growing and just rebuilding itself, and that's not always the case. We can damage, sometimes permanently or just long-term damage, a lot of the things that nature provides us, and that can easily affect the ecosystem. So I'm glad you kind of broke that down as well. With me right here live on The Splash, by the way, co-founder of Bees in the D, Brian Peterson Rose, just talking about bees, native bees, the difference between honeybees and native bees, and also native plants and how we can best prepare our pollinator gardens. Just a couple things I want to get across from you before we let you go over. Are bees more prone to living and making their homes in the sunnier areas, the shaded areas? Like what certain garden layouts or features are more inviting to bees?
Yeah, bees like the sun. They love the heat. Really? But it kind of makes sense because that's also where most of the flowers grow the most successfully as well. Okay. And so they're going to be in that nice hot sun partnership. So yeah, they prefer the sunny locations, although they will go into shady locations to find some pollen and nectar from some of our plants that may grow in a little bit more of a shady location. But yeah, the sun is the preferred spot.
Gotcha. It would make sense. I mean, I prefer the shade and the hot sun, but they're built a little bit different than we are. So besides that, what are some a few other impactful actions individuals can take to help bees in our community, maybe even beyond planting?
Water is so important. It's the essential for life. And so by having water baths or a bowl with rocks in it that allow our pollinators to come and get a drink, it can be a huge help for them as well. But I do want to caution you, if you have standing water, it also does attract some of our pest insects like mosquitoes. So you want to keep that water changed so that you don't help the mosquito population along as well. But water is definitely something that our pollinators need. And then you've already brought up, just avoid those pesticides, avoid those herbicides that can be harmful to our pollinators.
100%. I can say it myself, Brian, but it means so much more when it always comes from an expert, and we appreciate that. I know we ran through a lot of different topics. Anything else that you want to give out to our community, our gardeners in the West Bloomfield community before we let you go?
No, I just want to add that we love our partnership with West Bloomfield. We've already did our Beekeeper for a Day tour, which was so much fun to get some of the community members in the hives. And I just would encourage you to continue to watch and follow some other events that we have coming up. We probably are doing again our Honey Sommelier event a little bit later into the season, which is quite a unique event where you get to learn to smell and taste different honeys, much like wines. And so it's always fun for us to get to do that. I know the Pollinator Palooza is coming up. So all kinds of fun things that we get to be a part with West Bloomfield Parks especially.
Yeah, learn a little bit more about nature. Treat these bees differently when you know a little bit more about them. That's what I'm taking away from it. But I thank you so much again for your time and your knowledge. Once again, co-founder of Bees in a D, Mr. Brian Peterson Rose. Thank you again for your time.
Thank you so much for having me again.
A lot of great tips and practices to cultivate the best outcome of our yards and the community we live in. For more about Bees in the D, go directly to their website. Exactly what it sounds like, beesinthed.com. With 450 navigable lakes in Oakland County, even shallow waters can pose life-threatening hazards. 2 men recently drowned, one in White Lake, the other in Springfield Township, prompting an intense response by the Oakland County Sheriff's Marine Division. Here to give us more tips and information from Oakland County's Technical Support Group Specialized Units Patrol Services Division, we have Lieutenant Brian Burwell. Thank you for being here, Lieutenant.
Hey, Kev, how are you, bud?
Doing just fine myself. Unfortunately, talking about some unfortunate news, I should say, but it's something that we should cover. Ultimately, I know we talked about this multiple times, and I hate to sound like a broken record, but some of these things must be reiterated. So with that being said, so many lakes in Oakland County, what unique challenges do you see residents facing around water safety?
You know, anytime, I think one of the biggest challenges we're faced right now is the cuts to the Marine Safety Grant. And those grants affect education. And that's one of the things that the Sheriff's Office is pushing more of, is to get more education out there, boater safety and water safety classes. So, at the Sheriff's Office, we do offer 1 class a month for boating safety, hunting safety, other marine safety courses. But we're really pushing more boating education, boating safety. And that's a challenge for the Sheriff's Office because we have lost a lot of funding from that Marine Safety Grant due to recent cuts from the state and federal levels. But I think anytime you're around water, the dangers present themselves. And, like we've talked about so many times before, that drowning is really a silent type of death. So, oftentimes people find themselves in trouble in the water and people around them do not know. That's why we always encourage people to swim in a designated swim area. We always encourage people to swim where lifeguards are present. And certainly if you have any type of young children in the water, put those cell phones down and you're paying attention to the children in the water.
No, that's a really good point. And anytime we hear about a drowning, like I said, it's devastating to our community, and we hate to hear about it. And even hearing from higher ups and seeing news of celebrities like Malcolm Jamal Warner recently passing away on a vacation with his family through a drowning in Costa Rica, it just gives us, a note that we really need to be paying attention and be a little bit more aware. Now, despite repeated warnings, many still skip wearing life jackets. So what new strategies, if any, or partnerships is the Sheriff's Office exploring to make wearing these jackets a little bit more sexy?
Well, and one of the things that we're always pushing with life jackets is the importance of them. And, sometimes like with rescue equipment and safety equipment, it's kind of like the spare tire in the car. People are just not thinking about that spare tire in the car until something happens and they need it. About raising awareness, and that's one of the things I'm going to go back to a lot is this, these cuts in marine funding and how it affects our Marine Safety Grant and the programs we like to teach here at the Sheriff's Office that explain why life jackets are important, and understanding people that they're in the right life jackets, they're properly sized, and they understand why they need to wear those life jackets. And I mean, so many of these tragedies are so avoidable, and often that like a seatbelt in a car, the life jackets don't work if you don't wear them.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to wear those life jackets, and even having those throwable devices handy on boat. Boaters, they go out on the lake. It's going to be a great day, and again, we want people to come out on all our waterways and enjoy the activities on the lakes. But people keep those life jackets buried in a cabinet or a cupboard. They don't have easy access to life jackets. They don't have easy access to a throwable device, and then somebody gets in trouble in the water. And hey, where is that life jacket at? Well, it's in a bag which is zipped up and
tucked in somewhere and locked. Yeah.
And it's those are those things that 5 seconds before going out on the boat, taking some time to make sure all your stuff's in good working order. Stuff gets wet in a boat, so you get maybe some mildew, and you haven't looked at the throwable device and maybe since last season, and now the straps are worn or there's a rip in it, and compromise that float integrity is going to be compromised when there's rips in life jackets and things like that.
No, that's a solid point, because we only have so many months throughout the year that we can get on a boat. Other than that, the boat and everything is put up. So it will make sense to go back and revisit that. And not to be insensitive, just to go back, when I mention the word sexy, I'm only saying that in the sense that a lot of people just don't see it as a cool thing to do, to wear a life jacket when you're out on a boat having a good time or drinking or whatever the case may be. But like we said, it may not be the most appealing thing, but it's still something that we need to be doing. When with me right here live on The Splash from Oakland County Technical Support Group Specialized Units Patrol Services Division, we have Lieutenant Brian Burwell talking about some of the unfortunate recent drownings here in Oakland County and just giving out more tips and practices for water safety. Now, let's go back to what you were talking about in regards to checking some of that equipment. Do you have any advice for families to check watercraft equipment or even safety gear before heading out to the water? Are there any inspection events, checklists that you would recommend?
100%. And we talk about this again in that boater safety program, which is why we encourage so many people to take those courses. But right at the start of that boating season, we always tell residents, hey, take 5-10 minutes, open up all the cabinets, all the storage compartments on your boat, pull everything out. Take a good look at the beginning of the season. Certainly, if you have any questions, you can call the sheriff's office, and we can help guide people through that. But you take a good look at them, your safety equipment, and make sure everything is in good working order. The fire extinguisher is charged. You have a good first aid kit on board. You have a signaling device. The horn works in the boat. Those little things, when an emergency occurs on the lake, you're going to be way better prepared for it. We talk about life jackets, and you say, people don't like wearing them. Well, if you're jumping off the side of a boat and you're in 80 feet of water and you can't touch the bottom, it's probably a good time to put that life jacket on. If you're in a swim area that's designated and you're in knee-deep water, you may not be wearing a life jacket at that point if you're not a small child. So I think it's exercising that judgment, but understanding that, man, I'm in deep water here. If there was to be an emergency, a medical issue, things like that happen. And also knowing what to do in an emergency. Where am I at on the lake?
Good point.
Having access to a cell phone. The other important thing, too, is having a last seen marker where if something did happen to somebody in the water, you can drop a marker down real quick. That'll mark that spot. These are only a few dollars at any boating store, but so important because boats do drift. So when somebody does go under, we know exactly where to start that search because every second counts when you're talking about trying to rescue someone and save a life. So
100% agree. And that's why you have the experience, you have the expertise, and that's why you were hit on so many different perspectives that we may not even be able to recognize here. We got to let you go, Lieutenant. But lastly, if I'm not mistaken, alcohol may have been a factor in one of these drownings as well. It's the summertime, people are on boats, they're having great fun, they're enjoying themselves. So alcohol could be involved in some time. Is there any advice, tips that you would give to boaters or people out in the water who are engaging in alcohol as well?
Just be aware that it's going to affect you differently on a boat than on land. People don't understand when you're on the water, the sun is beating down on you, you're consuming more alcohol than you probably would if you were on land. And just understanding moderations. If something happens out here in an emergency situation, you're able, one, to handle it. And again, always encouraging people, take first aid CPR classes. And that way, if you do find yourself in that situation, you know what to do. But a lot of these incidents center around alcohol being a factor in these boating accidents. especially fatality accidents, and just asking people to drink in moderation. Certainly go out and enjoy the water, have a great time, but just understanding that, maybe be aware of the fact that that boat's moving, that motion, elements are on you, and drinking in moderation.
Yeah,
Be responsible.
No, well said, well said. And once again, our hearts and our thoughts go out to the families of these victims as well. And we just want to put this message out so anyone else watching or listening can be proactive as they go out on the water. We want to thank you again for your time and your information once again from Oakland County Technical Support Group, Specialized Units Patrol Services Division, Lieutenant Brian Burwell. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Love to get that information on tips and practices for water safety in Oakland County, which has an abundance of inland lakes, I should say. So continuously make sure you check your boats and your life jackets before you head out to the water. And you can keep up with Civic Center TV on all digital platforms. We are on Facebook at Civic Center TV 15, YouTube, Instagram, and X, app formerly known as Twitter, at Civic Center TV. And you can always find us active on our website at civiccentertv.com. I'm your host, Kevin McIntosh. We are live, local, social. It's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.